everybody. I am so pumped for our team call tonight. We have an epic guest host that is joining us tonight to chat with us all about building a business that you love, and she's just going to tell us her story, and it's going to be freaking awesome. If you guys don't know Andrea Crowder, I actually just met her for the first time at Leadership, and she is super saucy and awesome. And I just really, really like her vibe, and I know you guys are going to love her too if you don't know her already. She's accomplished a crap ton of milestones in Beachbody. She's in the Million Club, which means she's cumulatively earned more than $1 million with Beachbody, which is incredible. She's 11-star diamond in her first business center, 9 in her second. She's a 3-time elite coach, which means she's leading a 3-time elite team. And that's so impressive. But also she's a mom, and she's just really freaking cool. So I am just going to turn the time over to you, girl, and let you just share with us whatever you want to talk about. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for the awesome shout out on IG. I always love recording intros because I'm like, thank you so much for the short little testimonial. I am pretty cool, or at least that's what my dog tells me. So I wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys about, Keisha said that I could talk about whatever I wanted, and I was like, perfect, because there is a topic that's been on my heart so much, especially in 2017, that I feel is so important, especially with the energy and the culture and the climate that we're in with Beachbody, where we're at right now. So I started my business 6 years ago. My husband had just come home from Afghanistan. I'm an Army wife. My husband's deployed right now. And my house was literally still in boxes. I was just like unpacking, trying to get kids enrolled in school. We just had like the first earthquake in like a million years in the DC area. And like life was a shit show. Just a heads up, is cussing and stuff good on that?
Totally fine. You
I have like a little explicit sign that I hold up. I'm like, it's the time to put headphones in. So house still in boxes, craziness. I was working a full-time corporate job, and it was the worst time in the world for me to be thinking about starting a business. But I was starting to get paperwork in the mail that said, hey, you're going to have to start paying your student loan bills. And we're already living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, shit, where am I going to get $200? I think it was like $200 or $250 a month. So I saw this cute little blonde girl on Facebook. My sponsor is Joelle Cease, if you guys know her. And she was just posting her workouts, and every single Thursday she would celebrate getting her Beachbody paycheck. And I was like, how is this girl getting paid to do the Beachbody thing? The weird thing is that I was actually someone's free customer months before that. And she sent me an invite, and I recognize this now as a coach. But at the time, she sent me an invite in her very first email to me, P.S., you should become a coach. And I'm like, I'm not a personal trainer. And I just deleted the email. So had I not seen this other girl on Facebook and her really just sharing her very normal lifestyle, she worked in daycare. She also had a business. She was also going to school. And I was like, well, she's busy like me, even though she didn't have kids. Like, she had such a full plate. And every single Thursday, she was talking about Beachbody Payday, and she looked like she was just having so much fun. And I'm like, what is her secret? Because I was kind of going through my quarter life crisis. I think I was 27 at that time. And I'm like freaking out because I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I still didn't have a college degree. And I just didn't know where I was going to go, especially when my husband was reassigned to a different place. So I figured I'm going to have to start over with a new career, and I've just been very lucky to have decent careers for not having a college degree. So I started my business. P.S. She had to follow up with me 3 times before I signed up for this business. So the fortune is in the follow-up. And she sent me a video by Christine Dwyer, and Christine talked about how she retired her husband from a C-level position in corporate America. And I was like, maybe I can make $200 a month. And I loved what you were saying, especially at Leadership, and that's why I had you on my team call, because a lot of people are attracted to just a couple extra $100 a month. We think that we have to have the big financial success story, and it's just not true. $200 a month at that time in my life was going to change my life. And so I started this business, and it really didn't actually take me long to start making $200 a month. My very first month I made $50, no big deal. This was right before challenge packs launched. So that's how long I've been a coach. There weren't even challenge packs yet. And I started doing pretty well. I made $50 my first month, but that was kind of a busy season for my corporate career. And then I think the next month I probably made like 150 and then maybe like 300. And by my 6th month in business, I was making around $400 to $500 a week. And I'm like, okay, I'm on trend. I was following Mindy Wender's story, and I'm like, this girl's now making $3,000 a week. I can't even imagine that kind of money. I couldn't even comprehend, but I knew she was at least able to make $1,000 a week in her first year in business. And I'm like, I'm just going to do what she did. And so for the first 6 months of my business, I did that. I was following her game plan. I was having fun. I was so excited about this business that I sold this business purely based off of community, based off of my passion and my love for the team, for our support, for the products. Shakeology was changing my life. I was dealing with a hypoactive thyroid. I was tired all the time, and it was giving me energy. I swear they like laced the chocolate with crack cocaine or something, but I'm like, holy crap, I feel great. And so I just couldn't shut up about it. Like, I was practically shaking people, not because I cared about the commission, because I felt so good that I wanted them to feel as good as I did. And then all of a sudden, other people started coming into the business kind of close to when I did. Like Brandy Botts came into the business 3 months, I think after I did. And all of a sudden, she shot up to 6 figures in her first year. And God bless that woman. She's one of my dearest friends, but she triggered the F out of me for that whole year, because I'm like, what am I doing that's different? Like, she came in after me. I'm doing all the right things. And I kept saying that to myself over and over and over until like I was like mind upping myself, because I really believed that I was doing all the right things. But I'll tell you guys the one thing that I stopped doing. I stopped playing, and I stopped having fun, and I stopped focusing on moving forward, and I started paying attention to the people on my left and the people on my right. And as soon as I did that, my income started plummeting. And over the next 12 months, my income went all the way back down almost to zero. So at 18 months in my business, I got a $70 paycheck. Most people would give up. Most people would say, F it, this business doesn't work because I'm doing all the right things. The business is broken. I'm so glad that I'm probably one of the most stubborn people that I know. I'm thankful for that stubbornness in this one particular circumstance, but I had kind of a come to Jesus moment at that place in my business where I realized I was so connected to the outcome that I stopped focusing on what I now call my 3 Ps, which are passion, purpose, and play. Those are the secrets to success in Andrea's world. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I infuse those into my business and why, starting around $70 a week, the next 18 months, I did shoot up from a $70 paycheck into a 6-figure income, because I shifted my attitude. That was what I shifted first. And that is the one thing you always have control over. And if you're so focused on what this person and this person is doing that it actually stops you from taking purpose-driven action in your business, you'll drive people away. Because tell me this, if you see someone on IG stories, for example, and they're having so much fun in their business, they're doing, lip syncing, and they're like doing their workout, but they're laughing and they're having fun. And then you see someone who's like, getting my workout done, this hurts so bad. And like, it's just everything they do is just like pain and forced and push and hard. Which would you be attracted to? The person who's doing the hard, the pain, and the push and the force is gonna be unattractive to me. The person who's playful, The person who's purpose driven and passion driven is the person that's going to hook me, because that's the type of lifestyle I want to sell to people. At leadership, they asked us, what is it that's your mission? And we've talked about this on the wake up call quite a few times since then, or at least the last 2 wake up calls. And I really thought about this, and I was like, I need this to be one sentence so that I own it and it evokes emotion out of me. And so what I wrote down was, I'm passionate about normalizing wealth, life balance, and positive energy in women's life. For me, I am a first generation 6-figure earner in my whole family. And so, and the interesting thing is, most women especially, you can look generationally, and you might even be the first income earner in your family. You might be the first person actually earning a paycheck. Or you might be a second generation or third generation, but probably most of us are like a second or third generation income earner if you're a woman in the history of like all time, right? That we know of, at least in our family history. To me, I want to change that. I want to change the conversation, and I want women to be respected when we talk about money. I don't want it to be a secret, or I don't like, don't worry about it. Like, dad's got this taken care of, or the husband handles the paycheck. I want to teach women to understand that it's okay to talk about money, and it's okay to be wealthy, and it's not a dirty word. It's an empowering word. So I'm so passionate about that. Like, my heart just wants to explode that conversation onto the whole world. My passion is normalizing wealth. And then the second thing is life balance, because I've done both. I was raised by a special forces army dude who was just like the coolest dad in the world. And he taught me some incredibly valuable lessons that have served me. But it's kind of a blue collar job, right? Like, it's a lot of hard work, what he grew up doing, spent his whole career doing, and he passed that hard work ethic down to me and my brothers and sisters. And so I thought, I believed that I could do anything that I wanted to do because of the work ethic that my dad taught me. But I was addicted to it having to be hard in order to get there. In order to have all the things that I want, I just have to work hard. Working hard is the secret to success. I'm here to say that's bullshit. Working hard is not the secret to success, because there's a lot of wealthy ass people out there who just don't work that hard. And so I started thinking, well, if a woman wants to come in and and if you're a dude, don't be turned off by me talking about women. I have to just talk from my perspective because that's all I know, but you just wrap your own story up into it. But for me, I thought for myself, in order for me to succeed, I have to compete in the way that a man competes, and that's push, force, hustle, outwork. And I was raised in that mentality. And I had to sit down and I had to ask myself, but do I want to sacrifice my family for it? Because I started to in my Beachbody business, even though I didn't have to. I started pushing and forcing and hustling. And I was getting there, and I was making an F ton of money, more money than I ever dreamed that I could possibly make in my whole life. But I was doing it in a way that felt so inauthentic to me, to the point where I burnt out and I hit the ground so hard this year. In June, for the first month and for forever, since like very early when I started my business, I missed Success Club. I know how to hit Success Club. I know what to do. And I was doing the things, but I was going through the motions because I was being inauthentic to my own energy. And that was me staying in this forceful push state that burnt me out. And I hit the ground so hard that I could barely lift my own head up. And I genuinely contemplated quitting and walking away from a multi-6-figure business, insert income disclaimer. But I realized that the business didn't have to change. I had to change. And I knew that if I went back to the things that light me up, that I had control over, if I went back to my passion, purpose, and play, that I could shift that around and I could bring joy back into my business and I could love it again. And I didn't have to sacrifice family. And so I actually cut my business hours more than in half. And I started spending more time, even in the morning. I would not be checking my phone. I would be present with my kids when they were getting up for school. I spent maybe until noon, sometimes 1, 2, or even 3 o'clock in the afternoon, doing things that really made me feel good. Like sometimes just going and getting my car and going for a drive, or going to the beach. I live in Florida, so I'm like 30 minutes from Fort Lauderdale Beach, going for a walk, more time meditating, more time reading. I used to think like there's no time to sit. I have to like be doing Audible because that's the only way that I can get my personal development in and get everything else that I had to do. Everything had to be multitasking. And I just constantly felt like I was spinning, and that eventually the carpet was going to be pulled out from underneath me. And that is what happened in June. Like I was going through the motions. I did all the inviting. I did all the things that I've always done. The only thing that changed was that secretly inside, when I asked people, when I invited, I was praying they would say no. Secretly inside, I had nothing to give them, and I hoped that they would decline me. And I got exactly what I wanted. And I think that it was the best thing that could have happened to my business, because June allowed me to separate from all of my previous successes in this business, and it allowed me to start over and be a brand new coach again. And it's made me the best coach that I've ever been. To my new coaches, they're seeing success in their business. Their passion is contagious, but they're working from a purpose-driven state like that we've created from a community. My challenge group is the best it's ever been. If I could just open up my challenge group right now and read you guys some of the testimonials that the women in there have written, and I would just be sobbing. I'm not a crier, but like these women have brought me to tears. One woman had written, and even with my workouts, I used to think like if I just push through the pain, if I just like force my body enough, I can get it to change. And I thought like even my workout had to be this forceful, painful punishment almost. And when I shifted my behavior in my business, I also realized I had to shift my behavior in my workouts, because I wanted to create a community to invite women to where we were doing things for ourselves, not to ourselves. And that was a very important message that I wanted to teach people. And a girl in one of my challenge groups just said the other day, out of the blue, she said, I used to feel anxious about pressing play because I just felt like I was going to disappoint myself. And now since I started this group, I'm so excited, and all I want to do is show up and make myself proud and make you guys proud. And it's fun now. And I'm like, win! I won life! It was like, this is exactly what I wanted to change in my business. I want to teach people passion, purpose, and play, even in things that should be hard and painful, but they don't have to. The only thing that we have to change is this. The more time that we spend getting ourselves into the energy of how we want to show up and how we want other people to perceive us and how we want them to feel, the easier our business gets. And you know what? Even though I've been working less, my Success Club points have been some of the highest points I've had all year long. I've had the best testimonials. My income is growing. My coaches are coming out of the gates, making money faster. And when the climate earlier this year was very like gloom and doom, I shifted that by changing the conversation, but it started with me. And it's been the best thing that I ever did. So if you guys are finding yourself where you're in the space of like, I can do this, I can just push through, I can force through, let me challenge you that you can get there that way. It's just not going to be as fun. My way is a little bit easier. It's more fun. It's more enjoyable, and it's more attractive to the people that you want to work with. And you're going, even though you might be that person that might be able to push through and force things along, you will attract people that are willing to push and force, but they're not willing to push and force for as long as you are. their endurance will probably burn out, and you'll start to see that you'll recycle through coaches faster. I just did a coaching call with a girl maybe like 6 weeks ago, and she was talking about like, I'm running, I'm doing all these things, like I'm showing up, I'm working hard, and I'm inviting the most people, and my coaches are coming in and they're hitting Success Club and they're running just as fast as I am, and all of a sudden they're gone. And I'm like, well, not everybody has the endurance that you have, and not everybody has the belief that you have, but there is a better way. Are you willing to try it? And so I started sharing with her what I was doing to kind of be in a state of like what I call flow. You can call it whatever you want, a state of joy, a state of passion, whatever feels good and authentic to you. And then it had this like big, like aha look on her face of like, you're right, I'm burning them out so fast. And like, they just didn't have her marathon endurance that she had. So she was losing really, really, really good coaches because they couldn't keep up with her. So there's 4 vital behaviors. We know that. And sometimes this is when people start to tune out because they're like, oh, I'm just going to talk about the 4 vital behaviors again. Wah, wah, wah. Heard that one. But let me challenge you guys to think about them in a new way. Yes, those are the consistent things that we need to do because they're simple, they grow the business, they've been tried and true and tested, they work, and they're duplicable. The difference is how you approach them. People often ask any successful coach, whether it's me or anybody in your upline, what social media platform are you using? What tracking system are you using? What blah, blah, blah are you using? How are you doing this? And like, you're so focused on the strategy that you're willing to push and force things that don't feel good to you. And if it doesn't feel good or feel fun, you'll only last for so long. So my challenge to you is to stop asking other people what works for them and ask yourself, what will you work? Meaning, the best tracking system is the tracking system that you'll use consistently. The best social media platform is the social media platform that you'll use and you'll have fun using it. The best anything is the one that you'll use and you'll use having fun. I had a girl come to me and she's like, I started my like page. I have 113 followers on there. And I'm like, I hope that's not your only way of growing your business. A like page is going to take more than that before you're starting to get people. And she's like, and I'm on Instagram. And I was like, tell me this, where do you have the most fun? And she was like so focused on growing this like page and like learning how to run Facebook ads and investing a lot of money into Facebook ads training. And I'm like, do you find Facebook fun? And she's like, I hate it. And I was like, then why are you there? Like, there's other ways to build a business. You could be on Pinterest, you could be on YouTube, you could blog, you could do Instagram. The best platform to grow your business is the platform where you will grow your business. It doesn't matter what works for me. It matters what you'll use and what you'll enjoy using. And when you approach your business like this, it feels like passion, purpose, and play. It doesn't feel hard. You don't get burned out because you're excited to work. When I finally stopped resisting IG story, because I was like, I have 400 followers on Snapchat. I can't let go of those followers. I'm sure 97% of them were coaches. But on Snapchat, you can't click the little eyeball and see everyone that's following you and just like creep on them. You have to actually follow them to see their stuff. So I never wanted to be the weird creeper clicking that button and have 6,000 people to follow. So I didn't, and I just kept using it, and I just resisted shifting. And once I was like, you know what, F it, I just need something that I can scale more. So I played around with IG stories, and I approached it like I approach most things. And that was, I'm not going to focus on results at first. I'm just going to focus on play. And if it's fun for me, I'll stay. And I started playing and I got hooked. And for the first time, I'm a true introvert, you guys, through and through. If I see you in line at the grocery store, I will not say hi. I am a true introvert. I have learned public speaking and all of these things through this business. But I used to have to take blood pressure medication before I would do public speaking, so I didn't die. That is like how much I've grown since the last, in the last 6 years of starting my business. But one of the things that I realized with IG stories was that I was having so much fun that I actually liked inviting. And I was like, now I have found the creme de la creme for inviting for Andrea in its IG story. And it's killing it for me. I have no trouble hitting Success Club 10 or higher because of IG story. Not because IG story is the secret, because I'm the secret. Because there's a lot of people out there who are using IG story because they're hearing everybody else say that it's working for them, but they're just going through the motion. They're doing the activity. The energy behind everything you do, that foundation matters so much. And let me give you guys a perfect explanation. You guys walk into a high-end shoe store. I'm going to use a shoe store that will say Louboutin, right? Those are expensive, nice shoes because we sell a high-end premium fitness product, right? Shakeology is a high-end premium nutrition product. So I'm going to compare this to shoes because that's what I love. So let's pretend Andrea is going into the Louboutin store and I'm there to buy shoes. I know what I want. I'm excited to be there, but there's two salespeople. One of them's over here and she's got her arms crossed and her attitude sucks and she's got massive RBF, which is a real thing. I suffer from it. But the whole time she's sitting there thinking, great, another girl who's walking in here in her Target clothes, because that's me walking into the Louboutin store in her Target clothes, that's going to look around, that's going to take up all my time, and then she's going to walk out of here and say, I'll come back later, but really she can't afford it. Right? Like, how many times have you guys had that energy going into a conversation with someone saying they're probably just going to say it's too expensive? You're already telling them how to feel. And so they're going to be turned off by it. But then there's this other girl who's sitting in there and she's just happy to be there because her job is being surrounded by shoe art. She loves it. She's passionate about it. She loves seeing women's face light up when their feet slip into their very first pair of Louboutins and their eyes light up. And just something magical happens in their face, and she's addicted to seeing that transformation happen in women's eyes. She doesn't give a fuck about that commission. She is there because she loves it. Who are you going to pick to purchase from? Your energy matters. You can't just show up. You can't just go through the motions. Either one of them could have walked up and said, hi, can I help you? But one of them, they could have said it in the exact same way. One of those salespeople's, their energy will be different, and you will know which one. You will pick up on it. You will feel it. It matters. And the person with the best energy is gonna get the sale. Right? You guys know that instinctively. So your energy matters. So going back to passion, purpose, and play. What are you passionate about? How do you want to help make people feel like the lady in the shoe store? Like when my challengers not just lose weight, that's amazing, but when my challengers have that mindset breakthrough of this doesn't have to be punishment, that transformation that goes off is crack to me. I'm addicted to it. I can't get enough of it. I feed off of it. It feels so good to me. What's your purpose in this world? I want to help normalize women or normalize wealth for women, help them have more life balance. They can have their career. They can have the family life. They do not have to be one sacrificing each other, and it can feel good. And they can infuse positive energy into it, and they can have tons of energy. It doesn't have to be draining. They don't have to force and push and pull their way through life. They can do it in a way that feels aligned and get just as good as results, but they're just gonna have more fun doing it. And I wanna give that to people, like I just wanna shake the shit out of people. And if I could just like slap them in the face and give it to them, I would totally do it out of love, of course. I want that so bad. I'm passionate about it. And how can I show up and I can play more in my business? Yes, there are 4 vital behaviors, but how can I bring more play into each and every one of them? Inviting doesn't have to be painful. If you do start to get scared or fearful, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. The 5-second rule is a game changer. Brand new coaches, old coaches, it's changing their lives. I'm seeing people move because of that one 5-second rule video. You don't have to read the whole book to get the point. Just go watch a 20-minute YouTube video and you'll get enough to know how to approach that into your life if you start to feel fearful. Carl Deichler did a call for my team last night, and he said that what he finds is that people who start stalling are the people that give themselves enough time to start asking too many questions. When you go into this like circle of asking questions, it's really hard to pull yourself out of that. But all you have to do is apply the 5-second rule when you go there. Well, what if someone doesn't like me? What if another person tells me no? If they tell me no, what does that mean about me? Does that mean I can't be a good coach? What does that mean about my self-worth? Am I ever going to make it? Am I going to prove my parents right who said this business was a scam? Like when you start to go through that cycle, pull yourself out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Get up. Move your physical body, take action. Like Haley Christian says, don't be a bitch, just press send. It's so simple, but if you guys can find a way to bring more play into that process, sometimes if I'm feeling funky, I have to have a dance party before I start work. I will do whatever it takes. My team laughs at me because I call it getting in the mood for my business. I've been married for 14 years. I know what it's like to have to put yourself in the mood. If you guys have been married for a while, you know what I'm talking about. So I approach my business the same way. Like, it's important to me. I know once I start, I'm going to be happy I'm there. But sometimes I have to put myself in the mood. So I have a trampoline in my living room, a little like teeny rebounder. I have a trampoline in my living room. I know all of my songs that like get me pumped up and excited for life, that trigger my purpose, that get me feeling empowered and excited. I have a routine. I have a system that I can start plugging. Sometimes it's me getting out and getting fresh air. Sometimes it's getting vitamin D. Sometimes, like I said, it's going for a car ride. Sometimes it's going to Starbucks. Sometimes it's picking my laptop and moving my location. Whatever it takes, whatever works for you to get yourself into the energy of feeling playful, of vibing with your passion and your purpose, then you start your business. And I will even challenge you, and I will close with this. If you have, let's say you have 2 hours to spend on your business, I will challenge you to test me on this. If you have to spend even half of that to get yourself into the energy, into the mood to work your business, where you are feeling like that sales clerk, where you like can't wait to see this woman's face when she slips her foot in that shoe, like you're so excited, you want to shake people and just tell them how much that they're going to love this, and you're in that energy. Even if you have to, I won't even say waste, because even if you have to invest half of your business hours into putting yourself into the mood, you will get better results than if you spent all 2 hours working from a space of stress, frustration, worry, fear, forcefulness, pushing, or hard. And that's all I have. I would be really curious if you guys want to send me messages and be like, I tested that theory, Andrea.
You are just such a firecracker. Like, I love this. This content is so on point, so relevant, regardless of tenure in the business. So thank you so much for sharing all that with us. Does anyone have like a burning question for Andrea? If you do, you can drop it in the chat. But honestly, thank you. Just straightforward, real talk. I love that. My one question for you is, what would you, like, how do you take this framework and apply it to like a really fast approaching deadline goal that you have? Like, if someone's coming to you that's like, I have this goal, like I really want to hit it by this timeline, how do you kind of frame that with your coaches?
I have this like little saying, so I kind of bring my spirituality side into this. So I'll just tell you from like the perspective that I know. Yeah. And that's ask, take action, and let go. Ask, take action, and let go. But I will tell you that if you do take out of everything that I said tonight, if you take that one last tip and you put yourself into the best possible, you guys know when you get on that team call, like if Carl Deichler gets on your team call, my team was on fire last night. When you feel that fire, that's the space that you want to be working from. But you don't have to wait for Carl Deichler to come like light your soul on fire. You better bring your own match to the party, because you have the power to do that. If you light that fire for yourself, every time you sit down to work, even if you have less time, you can make a bigger impact. Because people will feel your energy. And if you're detached from the outcome, meaning you're so worried, I get it. Like I'm pushing for elite right now. I don't even like to use that word anymore. But I have to like check myself every once in a while. Even this morning, I started to get a little stressed out. I'm like, wow, we're creeping up on the deadline. And I sat down, I meditated, I played some of my songs, I got myself back into the energy, and I remembered why I'm here. Because no matter what, I'm always going to have a new deadline. Yes, I'm going to show up for it, but I have to show up with the best energy possible. And if I'm working from a state of stress and a state of self-serving, that doesn't mean your goals aren't important and they don't matter. And it's not okay to like set goals that are self-serving. But if all I'm focused on is what I'm getting, that I forget what I'm giving, I'm actually going to prolong the process of getting to my goal. So the fastest way to get to your goal is through play.
I love it. I couldn't agree more. It's so funny because our team is so big on like dance parties and boomerangs and all of that stuff. And a lot of people think it's really trivial when I talk to other coaches in the network. And I'm like, yeah, like we celebrate everything with the dance party and like putting yourself in the right mindset. And some people do think it's trivial, but what you said, it makes so much sense too. So thank you for just putting a little more color around that too. Thank you so much, Andrea. Seriously, appreciate you. Thank you for being here with us tonight. And everyone, I'll get the recording posted in the next few minutes, but have a wonderful night. Let's kick some butt. I'll talk to you guys soon. Yay. Thanks, girl.